receiving the benefits they're entitled to. And this is what I'm doing in my semi-retirement, helping you all get all the benefits you earn from Social Security, Medicare, retirement, survivor benefits. And today we're going to talk about spouse benefits and specifically divorced spouse benefits. So we see a lot of people out there that are not getting the benefits they're entitled to because they've been hoodwinked, deceived by their ex-spouse or possibly their ex-spouse's divorce lawyer. So we're going to talk about that today. And if this doesn't apply to you, I'm sure you know somebody that possibly does, or they know somebody that does. So please make sure you share and subscribe and all that kind of good stuff. Okay, let's get right into it. And this is also a live Q&A. So after I talk about this, should take about 10 or 15 minutes. I'll open it up for the rest of the hour for all things Social Security retirement. Just type your questions down below there. And okay, let's get right into it. And if you're new to my channel, my name is Ed Weir. I ran the third busiest Social Security office in the country, and here I am in my semi-retirement to help you all out. Okay, divorce decree. Ex-spouses try this all the time, and nice try, but it doesn't work. It's basically in your divorce decree. It says, okay, here's how you're going to divide up the assets. Who's going to get the 1972 Chevelle, who's going to get the dog, who's going to get the house, and sometimes they put in there that, hey, you're not going to get my retirement benefits from Social Security. And I'm here to tell you that nice try, but all the other stuff about the Chevelle and the dog, okay, fine. But Social Security, you can't do that in a divorce decree. You can write it in there. You can write anything you want, but Social Security does not recognize that. When you file for divorced spouse benefits, number one, you have to be married for 10 years, and I'll talk about an exception there. You have to be married to the person for 10 years. That person's benefit amount has to be twice your full benefit, the PIA, the primary insurance amount. That person's primary insurance amount, which is the amount they would receive at their full retirement age, has to be twice your full benefit amount. And if that's the case, you were married for 10 years, then you're entitled to those benefits, regardless of what it says in the divorce decree. Ignore it. I've taken hundreds of thousands of spouse claims, divorce spouse claims, and everybody at Social Security does it the same exact way. They say, okay, you need to prove that you were married to this person for at least 10 years. Okay, here's my marriage certificate. Here's my divorce decree that shows I was married to the person for at least 10 years. And the Social Security employee looks at it, looks at the names, date of marriage, looks at the divorce decree, names, date of divorce. That's it. They don't look at anything else. The second page, third page, 15th page about you're never going to get my Social Security benefits, not relevant whatsoever. So there's a lot of people out there that are not receiving benefits because they think they can't get it because they sign their benefits away. You can't do that. That's not a thing. And another reason people are not receiving the benefits they're entitled to, divorce spouse benefits, this is a little tough one. Sometimes I win this battle and sometimes I don't. I tell people, it says, hey, you're entitled, because when you file for Social Security, they ask you, they said, were you married to anybody for 10 years or longer that ended in death? And you say, yeah, I was married to 3 people, for 10 years or longer. So the Social Security employee will go through each one of those and see which one is the most money for you. And sometimes people would say, I don't want money from the first X or the second X or whatever like that. And I'm like, well, that's the most money. Well, I don't want anything from that person. And I could understand you've got some animosity there, whatever the case may be, but it's not coming from that person. That's an entitlement. If you look up in the dictionary, people always have an issue with the word entitlement. There's 2 different definitions of entitlement. There's kind of the 4-letter word of entitlement, but there's also the legal definition. So you're entitled to those benefits. And will they know that you get benefits from the record? No. Will your benefits that you receive in that person's record affect their benefits? No. Will it affect the new spouse, or if they have new children, will it affect those benefits? No. Yours is completely independent. You'll get benefits because I guess, tolerated that person for at least 10 years, and you're entitled to those benefits. So, but sometimes I lose that battle, and people say, I don't care. Yes, it's $300 or $400 or $500 more a month, but anything that's associated with that person, I don't want. It's again, sometimes I win, sometimes I lose that one. So, what about if you're remarried? Doesn't matter. As I mentioned, I just talked to someone yesterday, and they thought they couldn't get benefits because that person had remarried and they had remarried, and doesn't matter. As long as you're currently single, you're not remarried. then you can get benefits. It's an exception if if you're receiving survivor benefits. If you're receiving survivor benefits, then you can get benefits even after you remarry after the age of 60. But in terms of regular just divorce spouse benefits, if you've been remarried and you're now single, you're good. If that person is remarried and they're still married, no relevance whatsoever. If they have a new husband or wife or new children getting benefits on their record, no relevance whatsoever. Um, as I mentioned, there's an exception, 10 years. So you had to be married to the person for 10 years. And here's an exception. You're saying, wow, this is a very unique exception. But anyway, about 5% of people out there, I looked it up, about 5% of people remarry the same person. So if you're one of those and you remarry the person by the end of the next calendar year, so basically if you get divorced, you're married to the person for 5 years, you get divorced, and by the end of the next year, by December 31st of the next year, you remarry the same person and then married for at least another 5 years. Social Security can put those two times together to equal at least 10 years. So it doesn't necessarily need to be consecutive. All right. And here is one that a lot of people miss. It's called independently entitled divorce spouse benefits. This is the government. You got to have a long name, and it's IEDS. And this is one that people miss, and unfortunately, Social Security employees miss this all the time. Not when you walk into a Social Security office, you usually at the front windows. They're called CSR, customer service representatives. They're kind of generalists. They're not experts in retirement or disability or SSI. They're kind of generalists. So they're giving out, unfortunately, a lot of incorrect information. They just did that yesterday to one of the people I sent down to the local office to get more money. And they were told, no, you can't get more money. Dr. Ed's an idiot. And I provided her the policy reference, and she went down there today and she's getting her money. But basically, what it is regardless, if your ex-spouse has not filed for benefits, that doesn't matter. As long as your ex-spouse is at least 62 years old. If your ex-spouse is at least 62 years old and you're 62 years old, you have to file for benefits on your own record first. You file for benefits on your own record. And then if your ex's benefit amount, again, is over twice yours, then you can get the difference. One offsets the other. And it doesn't matter that they haven't filed yet. No relevance whatsoever. It's called independently entitled divorced spouse benefits. This application is a little bit more difficult because your ex-spouse hasn't filed yet and they haven't confirmed their earning record and all this kind of stuff. So there's a few extra steps that the Social Security employee has to go through, but don't worry about that. That's their job. And anytime you're going to file for these benefits, never, never, never wait. And because I hear people all the time says, yeah, I think I can get, benefits on my ex's record, and, he or she makes more. But let me go ahead and get my documentation. Let me go ahead and get my marriage certificate and divorce decree and all that kind of stuff. No, 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 don't do that. Call Social Security immediately and set up an appointment. Call the 800 number, 800-772-1213, and schedule an appointment, because that protects you. If you wait a month or 2 months to call Social Security while you're getting your documentation in order that you might not even need, you're losing 1 or 2 months of benefits. So call Social Security, set up an appointment, because right now Social Security is a 50-year low. And speaking of, I've put together a petition. I think I put it in chat there at the top of the chat. A petition, please sign it to support your local Social Security offices. Social Security just recently went to an appointment-only system, and people are already missing benefits. So there's already a cut happening of benefits. And the cut is you're not able to access the benefits you earned, because Social Security employees are not there to help you because there's just not enough of them. And they've got antiquated computer systems and all kinds of different things because Congress isn't supporting them, because Congress, a lot of politicians don't want Social Security to be around. So they do everything they possibly can to kill it off. And this is one of their attempts to kill it off, is by just choking the beast and, drowning it in the bathtub. So please sign that petition there. But do not wait for your documentation. Never wait for your documentation. Call, schedule an appointment. That protects you so you can get benefits starting that month, even if it takes you 2 or 3 months to get the documentation. Keep your scheduled appointment and tell the person. If the person says, oh, yeah, we actually do need your divorce decree, And then you say, oh, okay, yeah, I requested it. I haven't received it yet. And they'll say, okay, no problem. When do you think we receive it? Oh, it should come in another couple, 3 weeks. Okay, cool. No problem. And then if the person, doesn't work with you, they do something stupid, which I've heard out there, is they deny your claim because of lack of evidence. Don't sweat it. It just they had to close out that application because it's sitting on their desk, and they get dinged if it's sitting on their desk too long. So sometimes they get a little bit rambunctious and close it out. They shouldn't. If you're attempting to get whatever documentation, they should keep it open. But if they do that, if they do deny your application because of lack of evidence, then when you get the evidence, you take it in there and they reopen it. So it's no big deal. So don't sweat that part. All right. How do I know? I've done it all 100,000 times, and in my office, we've done it millions of times. I ran the one of the busiest offices in the country, so I've done this all a couple of times or so. Okay, let's go ahead and get into any and all of your questions. And here is our petition was it Wanda recommended we do a petition to save Social Security, and I'm working on another one to help with the long term solvency of Social Security. Another petition I'm going to come up with, but this one right here is to support your local office, so I can go back into retirement. So if Social Security answered your questions, if they picked up the phones, if they gave you the right information at the right time, then y'all would have never seen me, and I could have actually retired, which I probably never will. But anyway. Let's see here. Maynard in Texas. You had Kobe Gantz. Yeah, he is the CEO of Chapter, which is my partner. I try to help everybody with all things Social Security, retirement, disability, survivor benefits, Medicare Part A and Part B, but people need help with the C and the D and the supplements and stuff. So that's why I partner with Chapter. I have not signed up for Medicare yet, 10 months away from it. Plan to go with a regular Medicare and a Part N or G for my wife and I. Perfect. See, that's what happens when you move to Texas. You get very, very smart. I went to high school in Paris, Texas. So there's that. Yes, a Plan N or G. Anybody that's looking to sign up for a Medicare plan, please don't start with Medicare Advantage. A lot of brokers out there want to just talk about Medicare Advantage and just leave it like that. No, you start with Medicare supplements, Plan N and G, and you evaluate whether that's the best thing for you. And if it's not, usually it's a budget type issue, but make sure you look at the long-term budget. Then you go on to a Medicare Advantage plan. So, does it make sense to compare two or more different Medicare broker companies, or are they all quoting from the same company offering data? Thank you. Yes, they all from the same exact one. Some Medicare companies out there say they review all plans in your area, but quite often they don't. They only do the ones that they're contracted with. That's why I pick Chapter, because they do check all the plans in your area. So yeah, if you say I want Plan N, they will tell you the prices, the monthly premium for every company, in your particular area. And if you call any other company, any other broker agent in the country, they'll tell you the exact same thing because they're all the same. And even if you contact the company directly and say, well, I'll cut out the middleman and go directly, well, it's the same exact price. You're just losing that extra service. So, and it's all free anyway. That's so. The services. I'm getting divorced soon in Maryland. 11 years marriage, already on spousal benefits. If he passes away, do I get his full amount? His started his benefits at 70s, or only his full. Okay, so even if you get divorced, it's not an issue because you just get divorced spouse benefits. So you continue those benefits as long as you're single. If you remarry, then that's a whole different issue. But yeah, if he passes away and you are receiving benefits, so you're already on his record, his MBR, which is the master beneficiary record, so the internal record at Social Security, you're already on there receiving benefits. And when he passes away, if you're your full retirement age at that time, they just switch you to spouse benefits, surviving spouse benefits automatically. Sometimes if you're under your full retirement age, they reach out to you and say, hey, you've got surviving spouse benefits there, but if you start your surviving spouse benefits now, it's going to be reduced. Do you want to wait till your full retirement age to start those surviving spouse benefits? And so, yeah, it really depends. But yeah, it could be automatic if you're after your full retirement age. Edwina, thanks, doctor. You're welcome. Robin, I'm divorced from my deceased husband. I have been drawing off him for 6 years. I do not have anything paid into Social Security. So, with everything being said, will I still be able to draw his Social Security? I certainly hope so. That's another one of my semi, retirement missions is to make sure y'all get everything you can right now and to make sure the system is around for the future. So that's why I've kind of when I first started this channel, I just did, helping you with retirement, survivor benefits, and spouse benefits, and disability, and Medicare Part A and Part B, and stuff like that. Um, and then I added chapter to add extra services to get your, Medicare plans and stuff. And now, recently, because of all the turmoil in the future, and we're kind of down, we've been kicking the can down the road for too long. I've started adding. We need to do something about the long term viability of Social Security. I want it to be around here for my kids and grandkids and stuff like that. Hopefully, y'all do too. So, um, let's see. I plan to take retirement benefits at 62, then suspend just before FRA, full retirement age. Are delayed retirement credits applied to your PIA or your reduced benefit amount when you choose to suspend to get your you've got a great little strategy. And the fact that something a lot of people, not even a lot of Social Security employees. Again, I just had someone a couple days ago that went in there for this, and the Social Security employees, no, you can't do that, but you can do that. Um, so what Dagny Puzzle is talking about is once you hit if you're receiving retirement benefits and you're getting close to your full retirement age, 66 and 8 months or 67 or whatever the case may be, you can suspend your benefits to get those delayed retirement credits. But it's added to your benefit amount because if you're reduced 62, they're not going to jump your benefits up to, your full benefit amount. And, because everybody would do that then. Yeah, it's if you're already reduced the 24%, because when you delay your retirement benefits, if you do from 67 to 70, that's 3 years, you get 8% of those delayed retirement credits per year. So if you wait till 70, that's 24%. So 24% added on to your current benefit amount, not your full benefit amount because you did take a reduction. And then so you'll get the 24% and you'll still get COLAs and all the rest of it. But be careful. Not a lot of people do this. I think probably because Social Security doesn't get the word out there that you can do it. I think a lot more people would do these voluntary delayed retirement credits if they knew about it. But unfortunately, they don't know about it, and that's why they don't do it. And because of that, when you go into a Social Security office, they're probably going to say, "No, I've never heard of that. No, you can't do that," and then they'll send you away. So I will actually let me. Um, I will put the link for that, and this is the policy, the PALMS policy, which is the Social Security over 20,000 pages of policy. Um, voluntary delayed retirement credits. There is the actual policy at the bottom there. So if you ever go in there, you take that, and that way you know that you're not going to be turned away because the person doesn't know what they're doing. Okay, let's. What are the rules that support the SSA stating that the beneficiary is married but is not married but lives with a roommate and they aren't in a relationship? Um, are married, but are you talking maybe common law marriage or a deemed marriage or something like that? It really depends on what type of benefits you're talking about. With SSI, there's a lot of different changes for SSI, a lot of different policies. And SSI is the Supplemental Security Income, the welfare-based program that Social Security administers. So probably you're talking about that, where you're it's a holding out. They call it holding out. You're married, but you're not, you know, technically legally married, but you're for all intents and purposes married, and that person has, like $1 million, and therefore you're probably not eligible for SSI. So it's one of those type of things. So my sister wants to get her Social Security at 62, but her husband is 68 and still working and not getting his Social Security yet. Will she still get his Social Security, married 25 years and wants to work? Okay, so I assume this is a current spouse. So, in order for her to get his benefits, because it's a current spouse situation, he has to file first. But she can go ahead and file for benefits on her own record, get those benefits started. It's called a split strategy. The lower income earner goes ahead and starts the benefits on their own record. And then when the higher earning spouse goes ahead and starts benefits, then the lower earning spouse can file a spouse claim and take it up to the higher benefit amount. So, and if the lower earning spouse waits till their full retirement age, then they get exactly 50% of the higher earnings spouse's full benefit amount. Is the marriage certificate is valid if they married outside the U.S. is a Catholic cert? Yeah. Yep. Marriages outside the United States, divorces and all that kind of stuff. Yep, no problem whatsoever. Has to be, Social Security has. That's one of the reasons the policy is 20,000 pages because it has to cover every document from every country in the world. Like in some parts of the world, we have noticed a lot of Social Security has noticed a lot of forgeries and stuff. So it says in there, okay, if you receive this document from this country, here's what you need to look at. And we don't accept this particular because there's a lot of fraud in this one. So they're going to need other evidence. And so, yeah, and never translate it. Don't waste your time translating any documents. Social Security employee has to translate it, or they outsource to a contractor to do the translation. Don't worry about translating it. Is there a break-even calculator for spouse benefits? My wife wants to wait till 65 before drawing spouse. Can you explain the 25, 32, 5? Yeah, it's basically, yeah, you can go on the SSA website and you can get those calculations, type it in there, and it'll tell you the 25, 32, and 512 and all that. It's basically the amount your benefits are reduced. So it's 25 of 36 of 1% up to 36 months. And then after that's 5/12 of 1% over 36 months because they changed the full retirement age and everything. Um, so to do that, to get a definitive number, you can use a calculator and stuff like that. But, if you want a 100% perfect number, and you are thinking about maybe starting now, I would call Social Security, set up an appointment, and she could say, okay, if I start spouse benefits, she has to be receiving benefits on her own record first. She has to file for benefits on her own record first. And then you have to, if she starts benefits on her own record, then she has to file for any other benefits she's eligible for. So if you're currently receiving benefits, then she has to file for benefits on yours. So yeah, the spouse, it's not an issue technically for you because she has to file for spouse when she files for benefits on her own. So because if you're receiving benefits, if you're not receiving benefits, she cannot collect spouse benefits until you start receiving. So there's that. But yeah, you can call Social Security and schedule an appointment and say, okay, if I start my benefits and now how much are they going to be, how much are they going to be next year, and then taking spouse benefits, and they can tell you all the calculations. And yeah, then if you don't want to start your benefits, you just tell them, oh, never mind, I'll call you all back next year. Whereas you're married for less than 10 years, she divorced and married someone else, are you still on the hook? Yeah, that's one of the definitive things. Social Security is you have to be married 10 years unless we're talking about survivor benefits. If you were married to the person and that person passed away, as long as you were married to that person for 9 months, then you're eligible for benefits on that person's record. There's a couple exceptions. If that person passed away due to an accident or active duty in the military. I tried to get supplemental insurance for 2025 and I'm told I don't qualify. Is there a workaround for this problem? So yes, it's supplemental. You're talking about a Medicare supplement plan, one of the plan N and G. And if you're outside your enrollment period, then you'll have to go through health underwriting. So it sounds like you didn't qualify for the health underwriting. And unfortunately, there is no real workaround other than moving to another state that doesn't have health underwriting. Some people do that. Usually, those states are a little bit more. If you move, you can, you get a special enrollment period. Some Health insurance and supplement companies, they have a shorter look back. So some companies, they say, have you ever had a heart attack or cancer or anything in the last 3 years? And some companies go back 5 years. So yeah, there's a lot of variation there. So if you want to check it out, reach out to chapter there, and they can double check to see if you can get it. Could I gross $12,000 a month if I only work 2 or 3 months a year with Social Security at 63? Um, as long as next year, as long as you stay under $23,400, you can make $23,400 on January 1st. It's just anything after that, they're going to hold back $1 for every $2 you go over. So it doesn't matter, when it is. As a FERS retiree, can I keep my health insurance at same cost as an employee? How does this affect? Yeah, that's between you and FERS, Federal Employee Retirement System. Medicare, no relevance to Medicare. If you want to go ahead and sign up for Part A, well, if you get money, you have to sign up for Part A. But most federal employee health benefits, FERS employees don't sign up for Part B. Some do, some don't. So, my neighbor won her disability case. Awesome. And the lump sum payment was deposited into the wrong account. Oh my gosh. She called and they reversed the transaction, but she still hasn't gotten the check 4 months. Yeah, that's completely unsatisfactory. So someone dropped the ball somewhere there big time. Yeah, 4 months. I think it's time to reach out to tell her to reach out to her politician and file what's called a congressional. So you contact, if you go onto your state senator or your the federal representative, the one that goes to Washington D.C., your congressperson, and they have a button on their website where it says, I need help with a federal agency. You click that, you put it down there and it says, hey, I'm still waiting on tell them the story. And they will send that to Baltimore. Baltimore sends it to the regional office sends it to the area office sends it to the local district office. And when I used to get those, and we used to address those within 24, 48 hours. So yeah. Taken took 66. Yes. Taken took. Thank you. Yes. We need more likes and all that kind of stuff. A lot of people watching. Please like and subscribe and all that kind of good stuff. Taken took. How would you like to be a moderator? I guess someone was telling me there was a lot of people yesterday just spamming and stuff like that. So I guess it's time for me to get a moderator. So send me an email if you're interested, and we'll get you hooked up. I appreciate it. You're always awesome. The appointment only took me almost 60 days, and they call you on the phone in Dallas. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that the next couple of days, about the new system. And again, that's what I started the petition for, is this only, reservation. Do you have a reservation to get your benefits? Yeah, this is completely unacceptable. And so I'm going to talk about that in a couple of days again. So yeah, this is, yeah. Yes, surprise lives comment. Yes, please. Thank you. Carol, how would you need not to have divorce decree? Would a reopen claim for the evidence give retro money stated in the previous appointment? Yeah, if you're not able to get the divorce decree for whatever reason, and there's other evidence that can be used. We've had places, the county's building burned down, and so they lost all the divorce decrees in the 1970s and stuff like that. So you can use a preponderance of evidence from other sources. Yeah, but you have to prove that it's not available. So Texas is a third world country and very um, Texas is interesting. Yes. Texas is interesting. But I guess you know why. Yeah, I joined the Marine Corps at 17 years old and left. So sorry, Texas. So maybe I'll be back one day, but I don't know. Do I have to take the Medicare Advantage plan provided by my employer? Is it really a benefit? Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. I I don't think they can force you to take it. So I would definitely check, compare apples with apples there, and reach out to chapter there. One of the problems is usually they can't see that Medicare Advantage plan that your employer provides. They can't see the details because it's not available to everybody. So get that documentation, and how much they're going to charge you per month, how much are they going to charge you for prescriptions, how much are they going to charge you to stay overnight in a hospital, and all that kind of information. Then call someone like Chapter there, and they can look at the other plans in your area, and then you can compare the two. And if there's another general plan that everybody that's available in your area, you pick the best plan that's good for you. Can you explain IRMAA and how it affects Medicare cost? Yeah, IRMAA is income related monthly adjustment amounts. It was started by Congress a few years ago to help to shore up, Medicare for the future. And it's basically if you make over a certain limit 2 years ago, and there is actually a logical reason why they used 2 years ago. But anyway, but based on your earnings for 2 years ago. For this year, 2024, it's based on 2022. And if you made over 103,000 if you're single, or over 206,000 if you're married, then you're going to pay an extra Part B premium. But what a lot of people miss is that you can also request a kind of an appeal if you have a life changing event. So if you made $300,000 2 years ago, from work, but then you stop working, that's a life changing event, and you won't get charged the extra Part B premium. One of the things, the biggest thing that people get hit on this, which they can't do anything about, is if they sell a house. So if you sold a house a couple of years ago, a lot of people, downsize when they hit retirement age. If you sell a house and get that capital gains, unfortunately, that's counted. So a lot of people have to pay the extra Part B premium, but it's only for 1 year. So unless make a whole bunch of money the next year, then 2 years later, it adds up. It's not like the penalty, the Part B penalty that, if you forget to sign up at, 65, or, then you get a penalty. That penalty is forever, 10% for every 12 months you go over. And I'm going to do a video. Got Thomas with a Chapter, and he's going to join me, I think, over the next few days, and we're going to talk about all the enrollment periods for Part B and Medicare Advantage, Medicare supplements, and Part D. Too many people are missing those dates because it's all way too confusing. So we're going to go over that in the next few days. After our divorce, my ex got a Medicare penalty, I guess, for life. Will that affect me and the amount I would receive? We were married third. No, it only affects that person. So no, it doesn't affect you at all. Yeah, that person, your ex, just filed for Part B late and is getting a penalty. Yeah, 10% for every 12 months, and the Part D penalty as well, prescription drug part penalty. My sister lost her husband 15 years ago. She and at the time, 10-year-old, she had a 10-year-old daughter, were denied her husband's Social Security due to her making too much money over the allowable limit. Yeah, so for her, yeah, she wouldn't be able to get, well, if she, wait a second here. It depends how old she was. The daughter, the daughter's 10 years old, so that's good. So the daughter can receive benefits, and hopefully she did receive benefits until she's 18. But the mother could have received child and care benefits, but there is a limitation when you're working and making over the annual earnings limit, then you cannot receive the child and care benefits. So your sister could be eligible for survivor benefits, starting at 60 years old, but until your full retirement age, her full retirement age, she still has that work limitations. This year it's for 2025, it's 23,400, just like everybody else. When you get early retirement benefits, early spouse benefits, early surviving spouse benefits, auxiliary child and care benefits, surviving child and care benefits, independently entitled divorce spouse benefits, all those benefits, you're limited to the amount of money you can make before your full retirement age. Once you hit your full retirement age, then you can make $1 billion a month. It doesn't matter anymore. Lisa, hubby on disability. I took Social Security early at 62. Should I have applied for hubby benefits, which is much higher? Yes, but you had to file for benefits on your own record first. That was changed back in 2016. But so you did the right thing by filing on your own. But now you need to see if you're entitled to any benefits on his record. So he, receiving disability. So I would call Social Security and see if his benefit amount is twice your benefit amount. If so, then you've got some extra money there. And if you miss the date, then I would definitely say, hey, I was giving out wrong information, or I called about this, or can you give me any type of back pay retroactive, and they'll see if they can give you some money back for the time you missed. I just had someone um, they received, it's called a WIBRIB letter, and it was the person received it 3 years too late. A WIBRIB is basically if you're receiving survivor and spouse benefits, and then you turn 67, 68, 69, 70, and your benefits on your own record is higher now than your surviving spouse benefits, the Social Security local office is supposed to send you a letter. Quite often they don't get it, you know, delivered, or goes to the wrong address, or you don't open it, or you think it's spam, or whatever the case may be. And basically it says, hey, you've been receiving survivor benefits for the past 10 years, but now that you're 70 years old, your benefits on your own record are more. And this person, it was in the comments, the YouTube comments. She said, "Yeah, I'm 73, and so I lost. I think she said like three or four, or $500 a month for the past 3 years. So that really hurts. So that's why we need to press like and subscribe and share and all that kind of good stuff, so that doesn't happen to someone in your community." Is it SSDI? It is SSDI, and we aren't in a relationship. We are only roommates. Oh, okay. So yeah, if it's SSDI, it's not an issue. So, Dr. Ed, you are a man on a mission. That's a fact. Yeah. Can I get Social Security from a deceased husband? Yes. If you were married to the person for divorce, if it's a divorce thing, is 10 years marriage at least. If you were married to them, at least you were married 9 months. If it depends on the benefit amount. So, and whether you're currently married. My Social Security retirement is effective this month, December. Will my first payment not arrive until January? Correct. Yes. So they always pay it essentially a month late. So your December check comes in January, the January check comes in February. Why do they do that? So they can catch it at the end. We all have an end. So you have to be alive the entire month in order to be entitled to that month's benefits. And it'll come based on the day of birth. So if you were born the first 10 days, you get your check the second Wednesday of the month. If you're born the second 10 days of the month, you get your check on the third Wednesday of the month, and so on. So, Dr. Ed, I'm on SSDI, and my wife is 3 years unemployed because I needed a caregiver. Can she file on my Social Security record? Also, she will be turning 65 in March. Can she wait until full retirement age? Um, yeah, yeah. You're currently married, so she can file for benefits on her own record, and then she has to file for benefits on her own record, or on your record. Um, or she can wait till the full retirement age. But I would definitely check it out. Obviously you get more money by waiting till full retirement age, but then again, you miss all those checks between now and then. So yeah. Um, and if she's not insured, or there, I should have added that when I did the divorce thing. Is well, I can't get benefits because I never paid into Social Security. Well, doesn't matter if you were divorced, married to someone, or currently married, and you don't have to be insured for Social Security on your own record to get benefits on other people's records. So I submitted a W-4V. That's the voluntary withholding for taxes to your friends at the IRS. To my nearest Social Security office for 12% federal withholding on my new Social Security benefits. My benefit verification letter says nothing about taxes being withheld. Do I need to contact them? Um, the benefit, yeah. Usually, it depends when they input it. If it was part of the claim, then the decision letter should have included that. But if you did that afterwards, then yeah. But if, to my so you were receiving benefits, and then you did that voluntary tax withholding, and you continue. I would check your bank account, and if it looks like it's a 12% reduction, then they did it. If you're new, if you're just now getting benefits, yeah, I would definitely reach out to them, call the 800 number, and confirm whether they did that. And they made it a lot easier. You can actually do it verbally on the phone. Before, they used to have to fill out that little piece of paper, but now I understand they can do it verbally on the phone. And so, yeah, you can get it done, and tweak it. Um, you know, People ask me how much should I do it? Should I do 12%? 7%, 22%, 35%. How much should I do? And I say, well, just talk to your tax person and kind of guesstimate. But if it turns out you're holding back too much, then call them up in January, February, March, and go back to 7%, or so just play it around until you get tweaked just for you. So thumbs up. I'm afraid. Thank you. Thank you for doing this invaluable work and helping us. You're welcome. Troy, I work overseas, paid in the local currency equivalent to about 80,000. I don't get a W-2 or 1099. When will my foreign income be counted towards the annual earnings limit? Yeah, when you file your taxes, because as a US citizen anywhere in the world, IRS likes to get its pound of flesh. So you have to file for IRS taxes. Um, but what is it, below 70,000? You don't. But if you're making 80, so yeah, they want their yeah. So Social Security Social Security gets from the IRS. So whatever you do between you and the IRS, once it turns out, what your wages in America would be the W-2 wages, whatever you and the IRS determine to be your W-2 or 1099 or whatever the case may be, foreign earned income, then the IRS will notify Social Security, and that's when you just might be over the annual earnings limit, or maybe not. Well, in your case, if you're making $80,000, you are. So that's an issue until you hit your full retirement age. I have an appointment with Social Security tomorrow to file for independently eligible divorced spouse record per Social Security. I do qualify before my full retirement age. When I file on my record at FRA, will my amount be reduced due to filing? So you have to file. They're going to take two claims. They're going to take, if you are not receiving benefits now, they're going to take a claim for benefits on your own record and independently entitled divorce spouse benefits. So you're still getting that person, your ex is still out there alive and kicking. So that means you have to file for benefits on your own record. And then you get the difference, if that benefit is twice your benefit amount. So you have to file for both. So you cannot wait on yours. So you have to file for both. But that's good. They set you up an appointment. That means when you called the 800 number, the person on the phone knew what independently entitled divorce spouse benefits. Too many people are being turned away. And yeah, again, that's a cut. Those are cuts when you can't get into Social Security and get the benefits you earned, and you don't know about what benefits you earned, and you don't get it in time and the right benefit amount. That's essentially a cut. So Congress are cutting benefits right now as we speak, and they're going to cut it some more in the future if we don't take action. So please sign the petition there, and we'll pass it on. I was married for 8 years. Oh, did I skip? I skipped. Okay, I skipped. My 53-year-old sister is divorced with children. Her ex-husband is now on disability. Can she ask for help since she is going through a very difficult financial situation? Yes, if her ex-husband is now on disability, then if those are his children, then take those children, call the 800 number, schedule an appointment for auxiliary child benefits. So the children will get benefits until they reach 18, unless they're disabled. If they're disabled, became disabled before the age of 22, they can continue benefits conceivably for the rest of their life. If your sister is not working or staying close to the annual earnings limit, then she can also get what's called auxiliary child and care benefits. But there is a family max. So if the max payable to your family is already being paid to the children, then it might not be worth it to also file for the child and care benefits. But yes, call the 800 number immediately, if not sooner. And if you don't know that person's Social Security number, the ex's Social Security number, no problem. Just say, hey, John Smith, here's his date of birth. He was born in Topeka, Kansas, and they can find his Social Security number and say, hey, I heard he just got approved for disability. So yeah, we want our money. So yes. I was married for 8 years and a half when my husband passed away and denied to pay me. So okay, so you were married when he passed, so you're entitled to benefits based on length of marriage, but you also have to be on the other stuff. You're currently not married, or if you're remarried, after 60, that's fine. and the benefits on that person's record has to be more than yours. So one of those things might not have been applied, so that's why you were denied. But if not, then I would definitely check it out again. File an appeal. Very easy to do. I am divorced, 65, married 10, not receiving my benefits yet. The remarried I didn't. He passed past July. Does his benefit need to be twice mine? No. For survivor benefits, no. Social Security admin told me I would only get half. True. Yes, when he was alive and kicking, but now he's deceased, so the whole 50% goes out. So you're entitled to up to 100%. Um, um, but not the full 100% because you're not your full retirement age. So I would call Social Security because now he's passed and they will give you the numbers and tell you. In this case, you don't have to file for benefits on your own record. You can just file for survivor benefits. But if you're already receiving benefits on your own record, then then you can see if there's any more money. So yeah, I would call up again and say I want to file for surviving spouse benefits. And yes, and that's another thing that another way people are losing money is they are told when they call Social Security and they file for a claim on their own record, and the Social Security says, okay, were you married to anybody? It says, oh yeah, I was married to X1 and X2. Okay, they look at oh, you're not entitled to benefits on that record because that record is not twice your full benefit amount. And then you hear the only thing you hear is you're not entitled. You can't get benefits on those two X's. And then what the Social Security employee should do is say, you're not entitled to benefits on those records now because those people are still alive and kicking, and you're only entitled up to 50%. If anything should happen to them in the future, then it's not 50%, it's up to 100%. So keep an ear on the whereabouts of those individuals. And if they should happen to pass away, then you might be entitled to benefits. And if you say, well, I was married to someone in my 20s and for 10 years and I have no idea where they are, no problem. Just call up Social Security every few months and say, hey, I want to file for surviving spouse benefits on this person I was married to in the 20s. And they'll say, you can't do that. And you say, why? And they say, well, that person is still alive and kicking. And you say, okay, all right, bye. Talk to you next year, 6 months. So, so many ins and outs. Yikes. Yes. Yeah. And the whole system is way, way too complicated. And because the Social Security, they, their availability, availability to help you is vastly diminished, and which was a conscious decision by congressmen and your representatives, political representatives. They don't want you to be able to get your benefits. They want to drown the entire, Social Security Administration. So this is their attempt to do so. So we need to stop them. If Medicaid is paying my Part B, can I still get a part-time job? I have an Advantage plan. Yeah, it really depends on your particular state. You're able to, you receive Medicaid. You just need to contact Medicaid and say, hey, I'm talking about getting a part-time job. Obviously, if your part-time job means, $80,000 a year, then yeah, you're gonna lose your Medicaid. So yeah, you're in most states. I think all states. Actually, the President-elect Trump is talking about if you get Medicaid, we're going to make you go back to work. So that's going to be a big change. I'm going to be watching in the future. Um, so yeah, I'll keep an eye on all the changes. But if you have Medicaid and they're paying for your Part B, if you have a Medicare Advantage plan, hopefully you have one of the Medicare Advantage dual eligible plans. Those are the ones that you see advertised, with the extra cards and grocery cards and over the counter type stuff. So yeah, if you don't know whether you do, you can call your broker, whoever set you up, or you can call a chapter there and they can help you out and see what's available in your area. Okay, I already answered that one. Okay, I already answered that one. I have a similar question as Joanne. I was married 10 years and they said I would only get half and refused to tell me what he gets. Yes, they will. Yeah, so it's the same thing. Your benefits have to be less than half of theirs, and they won't tell you because you're just, you know, JZZ from the internet calling up and asking about someone's record. They don't know you. So they will just tell you whether there's any benefits available. The only time you will get the actual numbers of how much you're going to get is when you actually file a claim and prove that you have some type of relationship with that person, provide the marriage certificate and divorce decree or all that kind of stuff. And then they will tell you how much your benefit is. Yeah, they're just not going to give you the numbers over the phone because anybody can call up and say, "Hey, I was married to that person. How much are they making?" So yeah, that's yeah. Hi everyone. I got here late because I went an hour and a half away to do the local Social Security office for a name change in benefits. First, they didn't have in my appointments for benefits. Yeah, it's a terrible decision. I understand why they're doing appointments only, because they're not being supported by our congressional leaders. But it actually hurts because I ran the third busiest Social Security office in the country, and when we tried this, because every time a new commissioner would come in, they said, "Hey, we need to try something and see if it works." They'd immediately, "Hey, Ed, you're always trying new things. Try this," and we're like, "Okay, all right, we'll try it." And we tried so many different things, and we were kind of the tip of the spear in the country. And we tried the appointment only type thing, and it didn't work because if you get an appointment, it's awesome. But the problem is it makes everything more and more delayed, because just of the mechanics of it. I won't get into the details, but it's going to make customer service even worse. It's going to make it even worse, unfortunately. Yeah. Oh, and remember, Irish. Yeah, you had to do it basically in person because you had a name change. Remember, if all you need is a new Social Security card, the Social Security Administration, it took them years and years to get this set up, but now if you're just needing a new Social Security card because you washed your old one or something or lost it, you don't have a name change or anything like that. You just need a new card. You can do that online. And you do it online. And what happens is you file it online, and then the Social Security computer system talks to your state database where you have your state ID, your driver's license, and that's how they verify your ID. And if it comes up verified, then you're done. It's super, super easy. So, yeah, but you had to go in there because you had a name change and you had to show your divorce decree or marriage or whatever the case may be. So. Question is to confirm I will not have a penalty enrolling today, December 10th, since this is my first time enrollment for Medicare effective February 2025. If I applied before, yes, you're correct. If you are new to Medicare, the whole December, October 15th, December 7th, all that stuff is not relevant to you. Um, if you're new to Medicare, you're turning 65. You have 3 months before you turn 65, the month you turn 65, and 3 months after. So you have a 7-month period to go ahead and sign up for Medicare Part A, Part B. And then you also have to find, how you're going to cover all the gaps. Medicare supplement plan, please start with a Medicare supplement. Evaluate that first, plan N and G. And if it's not right for your particular situation, then check out Medicare Advantage plans. But you do need something other than just original Part A and Part B. There's so many gaps. I wish there wasn't. I wish, you know, sorry, chapter. I wish there was no chapter. I wish there were no, these companies doing the Medicare Advantage and Medicare supplements. I wish original Medicare would cover it all, including dental, vision, and hearing. But unfortunately, until y'all elect me the dictator of the country for a day, that's not going to happen. And um, okay, take and took. Love to be a moderator, but okay. But working. Okay, all right, all right. So we'll find someone else. Thank you, though. I appreciate it. But this agent told me specifically that I would not be able to apply for benefits under my ex-husband's Social Security benefits unless he is taking them already. Yep, there you go. See, as long as your ex is 62. So the Social Security agent, it sounds, I guarantee it, the Social Security agent is a CSR, customer service representative, which is a generalist, and they're not a Title II CS, a Title II claim specialist. And if you would have talked to a Title II claim specialist, they would have told you independently entitled divorce spouse benefits. They hate those claims because they're so difficult, but that's tough. Do it. I've done tens of thousands of those. So, but now you've got the reference. So I put the reference in the chat there. Click that, print it off, take it down. If you talked to these people last month or 2 months ago and they gave you that incorrect information, take that reference down there, that Palms policy reference down there and say, "Hey, look." And number 1, they'll go ahead and take your claim. Number 2, then you say, "I want my back pay." You know, "I talked to you all about this 2 months ago and y'all, I want those 2 months back pay." And then number 3, you say, "That person right there needs training." So, if I am the first wife and the second wife dies, am I still eligible for benefits? We were married 13 years, 0 relevance whatsoever. Um, no relevance whatsoever. So first wife, second wife, third wife, doesn't matter. Y'all can receive benefits and no relevant. One does not affect the other. Could you imagine that if you had, because I've taken claims of 4 ex-wives have been receiving benefits on one guy's record. And could you imagine if, okay, there's a fourth one coming on the record, so that means the other 3 benefits are going to be reduced. Could you imagine? I mean, the murder rate in this country, if that would have happened. Yeah. So anyway, um, all the sources say that I can after 62 years old and after being divorced for 2 years. Yes, you have to be divorced for 2 years. So it might be reduced by 40%, but I can do it. The kids told me. Yes, yes. I should have added that you had to be finally divorced for 2 years in order to get that. But yep. Um, be careful with moderators, sabotage the channel. Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm. Yeah, Take and Took is awesome though, and Penelope is awesome, and Tweety Bird is awesome. So yeah, I've got people that have been here since pretty much day one, and as always, free Medicare help got me daily unwanted telemarket phone calls. Yes, yes, exactly. Chapter doesn't do that. That's why I chose them. But yeah, there's a lot of companies out there, and that's supposed to stop effective October 1st. Medicare has finally listened, and the CMS, the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, joined together with the Federal Trade Commission and the FCC, Federal Communications Commission, and they all got together and said, "Hey, we got to stop these annoying calls." And Medicare is like, "Hey, we're the number one for these annoying calls." And so effective for FCC and FTC, it's effective January, March, or next year. But Medicare says we can't wait till March of next year. Our season starts October 15th. So the Medicare moved it up until October 1st. So right now, if you press a button in Facebook and, for free Medicare help, and, it's some guy calls you, that's good because you requested that person to call you. But then if they, don't enroll you or whatever the case may be, or you don't like what they like, they try to enroll you in, whatever the case may be, then what happens up until October 1st, well, theoretically, is that person sells your information to everybody in the country. And then everybody in the country starts calling you and harassing you. Starting October 1st of this year, that's supposed to stop. You've got bad actors out there that don't stop. But anyway, starting October 1st, if you press the button or call and say, call me, then that person can call you, or that person's company, company can call you, but they can't share your information with anybody else. And Chapter never does that. And that's why I chose them. Yeah, if if you don't call us, we don't call you. And even some we get people that says, "Hey, okay, thank you very much. Can you call my brother? He really needs help too." You say, "No, sorry, can't. He's got to call us first. Contact us first." So, um, does the marriage license and the divorce decree have to be the original? Yes, yes. I mean, not the original from, the 1970s or whatever. It's the original from the issuing agency. So if you lost your marriage certificate, you request the new marriage certificate, new divorce decree from your county clerk or whatever, and you get it. It's got the little raised seal and all that kind of pretty stuff. Then that's what we consider an original. So no notarized copies or anything like that. Notary means nothing. All right. Only let someone from your inner circle be a moderator. Yes, yes, I agree. It's um I was married to my ex for 13 years. I remarried. Can I still file for Social Security on my ex? Yes. Oh, wait, no, you're remarried. No. Sounds like he's still alive, or he or she's still alive, so no. If my husband and I get a doesn't agreement and we've only been married since 2020, we both have SSD. Once he passes, can I still try to get his Social Security? or will the separation agreement null? No, if you're, well, the separation, yeah, I mean, Social Security doesn't recognize separation agreements or living apart or anything like that. If you were technically married to the person for 10 years, or married to the person when they passed away, whether you were living in different states or different countries, not relevant. So, yeah, separation, they only recognize kind of divorces. You might not get the lump sum death payment, the $255, because you had to be living with the person at the time, but yeah, but $255, yeah. So anyway. All right, let's see. FYI, on Social Security 800 number, after being on hold about 10 minutes, they will give you the option to call you back, because I think my wait time the other day was 280 minutes, and they called me back at 4:30 p.m. All right, good deal. Yeah. Yeah, they've been working on that system for a while. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. All right, we are over an hour, and unfortunately, I think we've got no more time. I will be back again tomorrow. So if I missed your question, I apologize. We just ran out of time. Cut and paste it. Come back tomorrow. Post it up first thing once I start, and I will definitely get to it tomorrow. Y'all have an awesome